How's it going, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving, a day early here. Maybe you're checking this out on Thanksgiving. You've just crushed turkey and every side known to mankind, and now you're just digesting, slowly falling asleep to the soothing sounds of our voice on this podcast. I actually can't believe that time has been changing. I think how we know time, how we see time, but maybe I'm just thinking of things differently, and I don't know why this is, but now we're in this holiday season, and our anniversary is on December 31st, New Year's Eve, and I was thinking to myself, this is only 5 weeks away. There's this magical 5-week window in the year when Thanksgiving comes up until Christmas, New Year, and then that Monday, January 3rd, is going to feel like the beginning of the new year, which we're hopeful and we're excited. But there's I just want to milk this 5 weeks of magic.
Okay.
Because I don't just want to overlook it. I want to truly
Appreciate
enjoy
it.
Because I feel the difference. We put up some decorations.
Still waiting on the tree for me because I've been waiting to decorate it.
Yeah, though we spend 16 hours together every day and we live the same life, it almost seems like we live in different realities. When it comes to scheduling and things like that, but the tree and decorations have been up, and we've just been waiting for bulbs and bows and ribbons to be put on the tree for about 6 months.
Listen, we're just 6 months. You're out of control.
We're doing it tonight.
Jinx.
And I think because it's simmering down, we talked about this earlier, where we're the type of people that, because we truly love what we do, we like to work on the weekends, and then there's times that I can't tell the difference between what is discipline and what is maybe I should take some time off.
Right.
So I haven't really figured that out. Sometimes I push through because I go, no, this is where discipline takes over. But when it's a holiday, I don't feel like I'm sitting the game out, because if you work on the holiday when you don't have to, it's kind of just relax.
100%.
And as soon as about 5 o'clock hits on Wednesday when we're filming this, I feel like everything's going to shut down and we can kind of coast, and everything's a bonus that we do productivity-wise between 5 p.m. and Monday morning.
100%, because you feel the energy of the whole world. Everyone is unplugged. Yeah, as we should.
Yeah.
Feels good.
It
feels
does,
good.
but I still want to, while it's magical, I want to, we got 3 solid work weeks left of this year.
We do.
And so I want to also crush that. But we got some fun stuff to talk about today.
Yes.
Let's do the opening.
Let's do it.
Welcome everyone to the Freddie and Alyssa Show. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, comment, all that fun YouTube stuff. If you're watching on Facebook and you want to like the page, that would be awesome. If you're listening on a platform like iTunes and you want to leave us a 5-star review because you think we deserve it, that would be incredible as well. We've been putting up content now for over 4 years professionally, and we could be doing what we love without your support. So thank you for showing up every single Wednesday and checking out our show and our content on Instagram and TikTok and all the other platforms. We really appreciate it. Today's sponsor is Truebill. How many free trial subscriptions end up costing you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars long after you've forgotten to cancel? Well, you can now fight back against the scammy subscriptions with Truebill. Truebill is a new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill, so that's pretty awesome, and it's really convenient as well to have it all in one place so you don't forget. So if you want to start Truebill, you can head to Truebill.com/Freddie and Alyssa. Again, that is Truebill.com/Freddie and Alyssa, and you can start saving right now. So thank you for sponsoring the podcast, Truebill. Anything that can lower the monthly overhead and keep your finances organized, I am all in. All in. Speaking of money, did you hear that the YouTuber Mr. Beast has recreated Squid Game?
What do you mean?
He has recreated it down to the bunk beds, the triangle tables, and every single game, and the tall little girl in the red light, green light.
So he's recreated the set.
And he has 456 random contestants that are all in the jumpsuits, and they're all going to be playing the game. And he already filmed this, but he's releasing it today, November
Really?
24th. And he spent $2 million to recreate this entire game. There's probably going to be a cash prize knowing Mr. Beast. And I can't wait to see it all happen in real life, minus the morbid part.
I was just going to say, now when they play these games and they lose, there's got to be an alternate ending here.
I think they just go home and enjoy like
Gotcha. Okay,
a chicken
good.
sandwich or
Gotcha.
something. So, but I'm excited to watch it. If you haven't seen Mr. Beast's videos on YouTube, he is the second most followed YouTuber in the world. And he is an inspiration for people who are on YouTube to watch what he's done.
Yeah.
And he gives away so much money. He plays fun games, and he's truly hacked YouTube in every way, shape, or form. He knows it down to every little single thing about the algorithm, to thumbnails, to how everything should be done. And he invests like $1 million a video, but I also think he makes like $50 million a year because his videos get 50 to 100 million views. He has all the merch and just everything you can imagine. But his videos are entertaining, and he brought his friends along for the journey, which is like really
Most
cool.
important. So here's my question to you and to you guys, anyone who's seen Squid Game. If you were going to play this game with Mr. Beast, which game from the show would you love to play that you know you'd absolutely crush? And which game would you go, oh my gosh, absolutely not, I can't do it? Like which would be your most favorite to play and your least favorite?
I think the one that's just terrible is the bridge crossing where the glass
On the
breaks.
glass, that's what I was
Because
gonna
if you're first, you've lost.
Yep.
There's no way to guess 20 times right.
Yep.
It's like flipping a coin. You'll never get heads 20 times
Yep.
in a row. So that one takes away skill, and that was the one game while watching the show that I was like, if I was first, second, third, or fourth, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So, because everything else, red light, green light, just pay attention. You'll pass that.
Hopefully.
The marble game is kind of luck, but you have a chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What were the other ones? Do you remember?
So remember when they would give you chose a shape, you'd have to stand in the line and then you had to pick on it.
Without it breaking.
The
honeycomb one.
Honeycomb, that's right.
And then there was the bridge. Oh, then there was the tug of
war.
war.
Ooh,
That
that
one's
would
fun.
Stress me out.
And then the Squid Game. The final is the Squid Game.
There's got to be one other
There
one.
is one more. There's red light, green light. There's the honeycomb.
Is there
there's
an
tug
umbrella
of war.
one? Or no, that was part of
There's
honeycomb.
marbles. There's the bridge and Squid Game.
Wow.
So that's all of them. What would be yours? What's your?
Definitely that glass game. I
Yeah.
would not want to play that one at all. And I think playing marbles would be great. However, that twist in the show, if you've seen it, of what happens with your partner, that would really stress me out. That episode just, oh my gosh.
It was it was just such a profound show, and I
Yeah.
love that Mr. Beast is recreating it. And I think there's going to be something cool about working together and teamwork, and I really wish there was more opportunity for adults to be invested in some sort of activity that creates that teamwork and leadership. I feel like that's the biggest thing that I feel is absent in my life that I was aware of as a kid.
Yeah.
Like the reason that you had such great friends and memories was that you were all in a classroom every day. Then you would all go play baseball together or be in a club together. Whatever you were doing, you were together every day with a common goal.
Yeah, sure.
And I think being able to, play sports as an adult can be a little more difficult. I'm not saying to go and find a Squid Game, but it is kind of interesting to create something in life that allows adults in many different aspects to do something together, because that's how friendships, I feel, are built in such a strong way.
I feel like with us, as we got older, it always was in business. When we were in business with people, you get really close and you're able to build that quick relationship because you have one common goal together.
Yeah. I think now that we're older, that's what it kind of takes in a way.
It has to, yeah.
Like when you're meeting people in the same line of work, you're like, oh, okay, so we can build a friendship, but we're also building business with it.
Yeah.
So, because it becomes a time priority.
Yes.
If you're like, I need to hit a goal, it's going to take me 12 hours today to do that. it's you can hang out with somebody that you're building this goal with for the 12 hours, but you can't go 4 hours and then go talk to somebody and then go to lunch and then go to dinner and happy hour, and then now all of a sudden your workday's 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's just, I think, priorities, where if you can find that marriage. Now, not with old friends. People you've already known
Very different.
is very different. But I'm saying moving forward, like being a new friend, and we've talked about this briefly before, that I wouldn't just go meet a new friend
for coffee.
that just to talk about like books or movies with. Like, work's my priority, so you have to have that common interest.
Yeah.
Unless we were going to go to a tug of war league in Orlando,
Well,
and then you become
there
friends, or
you go,
a rowing
Freddie
boat,
Smith.
or a softball league, or something like that, where you have a common goal. But you're also in a softball league. You're doing something that makes content really interesting to show, so there's work involved in it. You're getting an exercise, which you would just exercise, and you're building friendships as well.
So you're telling me you want to join a softball league?
No, but I should start looking into that. I've pushed it out of my brain for so long because basketball and softball scared me, because being an actor, I never wanted to get a black eye or a bloody nose and then it affect my work, where now I don't really have to worry about that, so I really should go find a softball league.
What if we did a co-ed basketball league? Do you think that's a thing? Or even kickball. I remember in LA we were invited to do that, and I was like, that would be so fun.
Co-ed kickball would be fun. Co-ed softball would be fun. Co-ed basketball would not be fun.
What if I was like, over here, babe, come on, pass the ball.
That game would be a mess. Basketball and football co-ed would be a mess.
Yeah, well.
Softball, however, does work.
Yeah, softball, I never got into softball. It just was the one sport. I like kickball, that's fine. I mean, I'm still down to play softball.
Yeah.
I always was freaking out when I was on the, what do you call that?
When you're at the plate? Well, that's a good start, when you're on the plate. When you're at the plate. Yeah, but
is it
softball,
when I'm on the
at
plate?
the plate.
Oh, when I'm at the plate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I just remember playing when I was younger, and I just would really freak out.
Fast pitch, though.
Yeah, well whatever.
That would freak you out.
I didn't love that.
But in a softball, like adult softball recreation game, it's soft toss.
So it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you
Maybe
have
I
less
could try
fear because if you got hit, it wouldn't hurt. But if you're playing like an actual softball, like fast pitch or men's overhand fast pitch, like I was batting against people throwing 90 mile an hour, and if you get hit in the head, it would hurt. So you have to like just pay attention and move out of the way. But in a softball, like easy
It's
peasy.
easier. But also, too, the one thing I remember about that sport I did not love, when I would be in the outfield and there's a ball coming down and I have to catch it, I would like put my hand up and cover my face.
So maybe we'll do kickball. If we're going to do it co-ed, we'll do
like
kickball.
It wasn't
And,
for me. Kickball would be a lot of fun. Have you ever heard of the obstacle courses for adults where you go and it's just a big event and there are teams?
Yes.
That would be so fun. I don't really know if that's a long-term sort of thing or it's like an event that comes to town.
Probably seems like an event. There's like even marathons or half marathons you can run in Disney. Like there's a lot of different stuff, but yeah, I think that'd be kind of neat to find something maybe in the new year. But then I started golf and that's not going well.
So can you explain to the people what happened and why you paused your golf practice?
Well, I just had a different schedule. Like when I first came back from seeing my parents, I didn't have the schedule, and so I was like, I'm gonna go golf 2-3 times a week and get good at this. But then I just got extremely busy. Where
I thought you got an injury.
Well, the injury started it, and then the busyness started on top of that.
What was the injury?
Well, I hit the club on the ground and hurt my wrist, and then I couldn't lift weights, and I was still early in my process, so I wanted to lose weight, and it was a big thing. But my dad's coming down in 3.5 weeks for Christmas, so we're going to go play. So I have to go to the driving range to like, just sharpen up a little bit.
That would be nice. Yeah. You liked it though.
Oh, I loved it.
Just got really busy.
Yeah, it was just work. Yeah, I was like, I'm not ending this year without accomplishing what we want to accomplish. And I just kind of like flipped a switch, and I haven't taken a break. Just been all day, every day, and I'm feeling good. We got 3 more weeks, and then we're going to take a break for the holidays and enjoy with
Yep.
family, and then try to do a little more balance maybe next year. I don't know.
What
It's a
are
season
your
of life.
thoughts on a few days of a getaway on our 1-year anniversary of being married? Just somewhere in Florida. No, we're crazy.
I think I'd like
Would you
that.
be into that?
Yeah. Do
Let's
like
do a
maybe like
research.
3 nights somewhere
Yeah, like maybe on the west coast of Florida. They have really pretty beaches.
and just drive.
Yes.
I don't want to. Yeah,
I
this way we
can't
can.
handle the stress of travel.
Well, because the New Year's is on.
Isn't it a Friday?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we could technically stay Thursday night,
Mhm.
Friday night, Saturday
Saturday.
night, come back on Sunday. That would be cool.
Should do that. I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah, because it'd be like our little mini moon.
Yeah, we never did anything because
And
it was
then-
crazy timing.
I think next year we'll be able to find like a 10-day window and go do like a real vacation,
A real honeymoon.
a real
We
honeymoon.
can still have a honeymoon. Doesn't matter when.
Yeah.
Be newlyweds.
Well, we're gonna renew the vows eventually too, where we can invite
Yes.
people, and but that's just things that we're
Down
not
the road, but we're excited to do because it'll be really special. But I'm really glad we got married when we did, and that we eloped and we got to go into this year as hubby and wife.
It was the timing couldn't have been better. Like I would not want to be planning a wedding
Oh,
right now at all.
No, can you imagine?
No.
It's funny because in my time hop on my phone, it's an app that shows you what you were doing this time last year or 5 years ago. And I keep seeing all of these screenshots of just different wedding inspiration or of things I had to do, whether that was, picking the flowers or the shoes or the food or the decor for when we had our private dinner, just like all little things that it was for an elopement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a big wedding, but we definitely still put a lot of thought into it because we wanted it to be special, and we had that, virtual aspect of it, which was really cool for the time. But still, a lot goes into it. So for all my girls, we actually have a lot of people planning weddings right now in our life.
Yeah.
And it's really cool. It'll be exciting. 2023.
We'll be attending some in 2022 or three, something
yeah.
like that. So that'll be great to just
Nice.
kick back and not plan it.
Just
That's
go
really
enjoy.
fun. But yeah, it's almost like nostalgic to think about the wedding already.
I know.
Did you feel nostalgic about something 6 months ago, like back in the day? Like I feel like there's been a significant difference. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. It's so crazy you said that. So I was on TikTok, and you know how sometimes DJs will show different like mix up or mashes of songs on there, and they did a playlist of songs that you downloaded in March of 2020, which that was obviously when we all were inside during that lovely
Yeah.
little quarantine. And the songs just like brought me back, and I was feeling like this weird nostalgia, and it was songs like Say So by Doja Cat or I Love You. You know how that girl did the cover of I Love You Baby?
Oh yeah.
But it got really famous and she blew up,
I was gonna say we could play them, but we can't.
right?
Yeah.
Can we? Can we play a snippet?
I don't want to risk it.
Or
'cause
remember
it-
that song? Dun, 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 dun. I'm a pretty boy, I'm stunning.
Yeah.
There were just all these songs, and it really gave me this strange nostalgia. So I started reading the comments, and people were just saying, is this normal that we're all feeling so nostalgic about a time that was not that long ago? And then someone else said, I just think that everything is changing. Trends are changing week to week. We have so much technology in front of us, so much information and news that things are just changing so quickly, whereas beforehand it took a lot longer to receive the new trends, and so nostalgia took longer. Does that make sense?
I mean, there has to be something, because there wasn't a significant difference of time in our 20s. And I remember thinking back, like, oh yeah, like last year felt like a year and a half ago felt like a year and a half ago. Like when I think about even our wedding, that to me,
like a lot.
it feels like 4 years.
Like it could have been.
Just
but a lot's changed since.
But I think it's a combination of, like you said, like things that are changing so fast in the world, maybe technology. And then I think the added stuff for us is that, we always try to, with that mindset of like, look at yourself yesterday and try to be better than that person. And you're just always trying to get a little better. So there's also decisions that I made, whether it was investments, whether it was the way I handled a situation, whether it was, anything. Like I look back and go, because I've learned, I go, oh, I probably would have done that a little different, or I probably wouldn't have done this, you know. Not that I dwell on that, but I just look back and go, I was so young and naive then. But that's just 6 months ago.
I know.
So I kind of got into this habit where I go, that's probably a good thing. Like, I don't want to dwell on it, but that means that I'm growing and I'm learning.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, let's do that. But I think, too, it has something to do with these two things. Let me see if I can articulate this correctly, or just say the word articulate correctly. I think the first thing is that we were all kind of in this lockdown together in March. We weren't divided yet. So I think there was kind of this moment where we were all afraid. We didn't know what was going to happen. But there was never a time where it was like, hey, everyone, it ended and we're back out there and here's how it is. And, you know, go and do this and get back out there.
Right.
And everyone got to celebrate, whether it was with the mask or without or however it happened. There was never a moment where it ended. It almost just felt like there was like a little rope given, and then before we knew it, we're like, wait, are we, so I guess we're back to normal. Like, it almost feels like we're still on probation, but yet not.
Right.
Like, we're free to do whatever, but there was never a moment. It's just been kind of slowly going, and I think that kind of messed with time a little bit, where I'm like, wait, we're still in this, but it's over, but it's not. So was 2020 different? And it just shows how much we didn't know. But then I think with the world moving so heavily online, I think that these new ideas, new trends, new fashion, new clicks, new topics all have to be new today.
Yes.
That was old news. Oh, like, here's a crazy example. Instagram has not caught up yet. Maybe it's the user base, I don't know. But if you go on Instagram Reels and I'm flipping through, the things that are going viral today were going viral 7, 8, 9 weeks ago on TikTok.
Wow.
And I look at Reels and I go, I don't know if you watch my TikTok, like I did this whole thing where like every man's brain, there's like a trend going where we like could put the toilet paper on, but we set it next to it, or we could put the clothes in the hamper, but we set it on the floor. Or I did one where I'm like, I could get a new trash bag out. No, let me just balance this on the already, trash. I feel like that will be popular in January on Instagram.
Really?
But it's like, it's already not interesting because we've exhausted that trend.
Yeah.
But I think the same thing's happening in the news cycles too. And that's what's driving everybody up a wall, is that they're like, okay, how long can we beat this drum before it's like, all right, people are losing interest. We need something else to get them to come back. What can we be outraged about today? And so I think everybody's just trying to one up everybody every day. And it's just like, just changing in those kind of ways and in culture.
Yep.
What's the new song? Like Cardi B and Lizzo's song, like, all the rumors are true. Yeah. Like, that's only 3 weeks old.
And it feels like
It's
been.
like, next, what's new?
Well, what's another very interesting thing, I was doing my hair the other day, and I love putting in my ear pods and listening to music while I'm blow drying my hair because it takes a lovely amount of time. And when I was doing that, I was listening, I think it was to like old school Madonna and Janet Jackson. And as I was listening, I was like, man, they're playing this chorus again. And I would look down at the song time, and it was about 4.5, 5 minutes. Songs were very, very long back then. And you think about even songs like on TikTok, 1 minute and 20 seconds, maybe 2 minutes. But we used to go from listening to 5-minute songs to now the average is like, 2 minutes. And sometimes when I'm driving and I have, say, Pandora on, I'll listen to an old school song. I'll have that station on. But by like the first chorus, I'm like, okay, I heard it, on to the next. Like, I can't sit and listen to it. And that I'm like, that's kind of crazy because we used to sit and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Now our attention spans are just so small.
Well, and I think too, what's making it slightly just different in this generation is that we're the first generation, meaning like millennials, Gen Z more, but even millennials, that we can't really get advice in certain aspects of life from parents or grandparents. Like, my grandparents easily could have given my parents advice because the world didn't change that much between them.
Right.
Now there's times that things are happening so fast that if you're not on the pulse, so there's like, so meaning that people in charge or people who are older, there's no way to really guide this. We've never had social media. We've never been on a thing where you flick like this and get dopamine hits every 10 seconds. It's new. So we're all evolving as one. So if you're 98 or you're 7 years old, we're all evolving to this at the same time. Where back in the day, a 98-year-old could sit down and go, let me tell you, this is what's going to happen, and this is how you're going to get through it. When you go into that job interview, or when you go in and you're going to marry that girl, there was advice that you could give. If that still exists now on marriage and stuff. But I'm saying we're all in this together as a big group of all generations going, so this is okay that we're spending 8 hours on a phone, right? Everyone's like, yeah, like it's good.
Man, it's just so interesting because they had all the experience. I'll never forget being in, what was it, maybe 3rd grade, when my dad sat me down and showed me the computer, taught me how to have an email, how to do AOL. And then in intermediate school, it was a science and technology school. So we had a lot of computer classes. As the years on, I ended up learning like HTML and just a lot of different stuff about computers and the internet. My dad is very well versed in it, but it's crazy to think he first taught me. But what I know now with the technology of it, because a lot of my attention growing up was on that. While he was working and, of course, using computers for email, I was really learning the intricate makings of it. So it's just a very, very unique time to live in.
Well, I think we're all just living in our own realities. And I think that's been the biggest change. To really try to sum this up of what I'm trying to say, I didn't really have a point of view on it. I was just kind of just speaking. But we all live in our own realities. I think maybe 60, 70 years ago, we shared a lot of the same reality. If you asked anyone randomly in the 50s, 60s, 70s, I'm sure they could paint the same picture, like pretty similar realities. At this point, 2021, 2022, we're all living in different realities. Like we see the world through the computer more than like even my parents do, or how you were saying your parents, and they're like tech savvy. But I'm saying like the heartbeat of it. Like we're all living in different realities. And I think that's fine as long as people are just doing what makes them happy and people aren't hurting anyone. I think and that's a good lesson in life, that you don't have to conform to someone else's reality. If you don't want your kids to be online very long, you can monitor that. If you want to spend all your time on there, do that. If you want to go out on a hike and put your phone away for 6 days, do that. If you want to engage in political banter, do that. If you don't do that. Like there's so many, you can live in whatever reality that you want and participate in. And I think that's one of the strongest things that we live by. And it was a quote that Steve Jobs made up that Ashton Kutcher repeated after playing him at the Teen Choice Awards, where he goes, everything around you was created by someone no smarter than you. So and I know I thought this when I was 18, 19, living in Hollywood, I felt small. I felt lucky. I felt like I was just like this little snowflake floating around, and it was an honor to just be in these meetings or to know these people or see the Hollywood sign. Like I was part of this world that other people created, and if I could ever just participate, wouldn't this be great? Well, then I grew up and I realized, well, someone just made all this up. So I can just make up my own thing. I don't want to get up and go to a job. I want to create work for myself. I'm going to do that. I want to go and drive this car. I want to impact these people. I want to wear this. I want to talk about this. I want to eat this food. I want to invent something. Like you can do whatever you want. Though don't ever think that, oh, we're living in someone else's world. You have the freedom to do what you want to do. Make your life and your world the way you want it. If you don't want sketchy people in your life, tell them to go away. Move on. Close the door. Deal with the pain, because it's going to hurt for a little bit, but then it's going to feel great. Instead of it dripping on you the rest of your life. Like create your own circle, create your own job, create your own environment, create what you want in your life, watch what you want. Keep yourself educated, but like, do what you want. You're not living in someone else's world. We all created this. Like every single ounce of this apartment is created by somebody who's also extremely wealthy. Like someone made that faucet.
Yes, they
Someone
did.
made that soap and the labels on that soap, and someone was paid to make that label, and a boardroom of 20 people that had to sign off on that label to go on that soap that was also created and molded by a company who made those machines that have to run those machines and maintain those machines and invest in those machines and put the machines in a building that someone bought the land. And that's just the soap.
Just the soap. Well, what's kind of wild if you think about it, a lot of these inventions come from writers in, say, Hollywood. They'll create, like, and I'm talking years and years and years ago, they'll create these ideas and thoughts, especially I feel like in the sci-fi world where they were really talking about robots and the dog robots, and these writers come up with something in their mind and create this world for years and years and years, and other people who actually are engineers and can do this sort of stuff go, that wouldn't be such a bad idea. And then so they start working and creating for years on that. So, like he said, you know, you are the author. Well, you didn't say you're the author of the, what's that quote? You're the author of your life. Write well, edit often. But truly, you can make up whatever you want in your life. So no one is any smarter than anyone else. Have an idea.
Just apply yourself and make your own life. And don't let people in that you don't want. And like, you run your life.
That's right.
Like, you're in control. Everything that is good in your life is because of something you did, and everything that's bad is sadly
something you did.
Something you did. Now, you could be a victim to something, but how you react to that is in your control.
Yep.
So it's like, you can't let someone who treated you poorly or somebody who, you know, screwed you over, you can't let that moment define you. You just got to take that, learn from that, try to figure out how to not allow that to happen in the future. But just become the, as even Joe Rogan says, become the hero, become the lead in your own film. If a documentary crew was going to come, this is what Joe Rogan was saying, if a documentary crew found you right now and you were at the beginning of your own movie, and maybe you've got bills, maybe you're going to start working out, maybe you're going to try a new job, or whatever it is, maybe your life isn't perfect and you want it to be perfect. And this documentary crew is going to follow you around and watch you be the lead character who has problems at the beginning, gets to a point where things are getting good, hits a wall and has a decision to turn back, but doesn't, pushes through, and then ends up being the hero and the feel-good person at the end of the film. You have the capabilities of doing that yourself.
Yep.
And that's the most powerful way of looking at life, is like, create the life and atmosphere that you want, and also create a life that inspires people to take positive action. This is the last thing I want to say on this, but because I don't want to like keep railing on this, but like, I'm so passionate about creating a life and putting things on these platforms that inspire people to take action. If you've really realized, the way that I produce content is I show you what I'm doing, but I never tell you what to do. I never want to tell you what to do. I want to just share, here's what I'm eating, this is what I'm doing, here's what I'm doing. And if my actions inspire you to take action, then I've done my job. I think there's so much going on online, especially in the political world, where people are pointing a finger saying you're terrible, and they're creating negativity and trying to tear down other people, rather than just taking the camera and saying, look, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm going to create positive change. I'm here today and I'm going to help homeless people out. Who wants to come with me? Let's document this and help people. That video inspires change. Now you have 17 people show up. Now you're all making videos inspiring change and showing what it's like to help people out and put them in a motel and raise money. That will inspire people to help help the homeless community. Telling people who are rich, like, why aren't you donating? You're a piece of crap. That doesn't change anything. You're going to get further in life by putting up the phone and having an inspirational message, and that's on the extreme level. But I think that's in the day-to-day. There's no need to tear down people. Turn the script on yourself. You live an inspirational life, and if your actions and message is clear and positive, you're going to inevitably find like-minded people who want to join you, and your mission of the life and reality that you want to create can become real. And you have the power to do that yourself. So just wanted to leave that there.
I like that. Very nicely said, my sweet love.
Thank you. To flip it over here on, since Benji's the star of the show, we had, this has come full circle, because I made this video when I was like, oh, I'm doing a brand deal, and I made that little spoof of like what it's like working with him as the entitled actor. That was the day we were shooting the Eufy pet dog camera thing,
Right.
and that's what I was able to post today. And he was the star of that and did very well in front of the camera. But 2 days ago, we had a little bit of a scare, and thank you to everybody who shared in a polite way. Most people did. That dogs can't have onions, which we didn't know. And I found that pretty interesting because I always heard like, oh, dogs can't have chocolate. But I'm like, well, vegetables are fine. Had no idea.
No, it's very
Made
bad.
this video where he had like I think it was like 5 grams of onions. It was like too little, like maybe like, I don't know how to even describe it. Like three little slices.
Let's give the backstory real quick. So Freddie pretty much every other night makes this meat that has onions and peppers. So from time to time, he'll take a little bit and give it to Benji, and he'll put it right on his hard food, so he'll eat his hard food. Well, he made a video the other night sharing, it's been 90 days on your diet, 31 pounds down. He was showing what he makes for dinner, what he has all the time. In this video, he shows himself giving just a little bit to Benji in his dish.
Yeah.
And from that, we learned right away, like he walked into my room and he goes, hey, babe, some people are saying that dogs can't have onions. Is that true? And so we immediately get online and we start researching and Googling. We're stressing out. And I end up calling a 24-hour vet because this is at like 10 p.m. that it's happening.
Yeah.
It was late. And every time we've gone to the vet late, we've been there for 6-7 hours. It's crazy. So I go, well, let me just call the vet and see what they have to say, because he had about 5 grams. We were looking online. We read a lot of different stuff.
Well, that's what scared us, is that so many people commented that onions are toxic and poison. And I go, really? How have I not known this? And then when you look online, it's like, your dog's going to explode. Like, there was no good articles.
It wasn't great.
And I go, this is bad.
Yeah.
But then it was also, like, in my gut, it felt really funny because I go, there's no way that this wouldn't be more mainstream. Like, this can't be as true as it seems.
Like we hear with chocolate, everyone knows don't give
if
your
it's
dog
the little,
chocolate.
yeah. But I was like, when you give someone steak that has like a dog steak with garlic on it, or it has onions on it, I'm like, there would have been more stories. Everyone has a dog. There'd be more stories, but there was also nothing online. So I was like, this is bad.
So I called the vet, and they say you have to call poison control. Here's their number. And it was the ASPCA poison control, and they'll give you the exact info. You just have to pay $75. And I was
Benjamin?
like,
Actually, it was my fault. I can't blame him for eating yummy onion steak.
And after, explaining the story and they started looking into everything, I forget the exact amount, which I'm sure you might know, but it takes a large amount for it to be toxic.
For his weight, it takes about 70 grams of onion, which is about a half of a small onion worth, like a real large amount for his size, for it to be toxic to him. And so we were like, okay, we don't have to worry. And they're like, but if he starts like having any issues, just pay attention. But it's been 2 days and he's go in the bathroom normal. He didn't get sick or anything like that.
And they said that he was fine, so don't worry about it.
Yes,
so that made me feel good.
I had no idea. So then I also learned like you can't give him grapes, and people were sending me other things like you can't give this and that.
Garlic powder.
No, so it's good to know that if a dog has a little bit, like you still shouldn't. Like I won't do that anymore. But it's good to know because it's just so interesting that how did we hear chocolate but never hear onion or grapes in the dog world?
To be real, for the 13 years I've had him, I don't really give him a lot of people food. Like meats, sure. But just like a little lunch meat with his CBD or, turkey, he loves that. But I'm not someone who'd be like, here, have an apple or grape. Like that, I would never.
Apples are okay.
Are they?
Yeah, I read.
Are they?
Well, I have to double check, but I think someone said it's good for their teeth.
You did not hear that here.
I don't know. We have to.
And speaking of his teeth, we decided to do.
We found a dentist.
A dentist for him because poor little guy's chompers are not so great. And they've been saying for years, every time the vet looks at it, you got to get him done, but he has to go under anesthesia. And for a 13-year-old dog, it just.
Yeah, you can't really do
just
that.
feel horrible doing that. So we did a lot of research, and there's one that does it, and they wrap him up in a little towel.
That
like
doesn't
a spa.
use anesthesia,
No.
so he's awake during it, but they
Yes.
wrap him in a towel and they clean his teeth and
little
gums.
teethy. So we'll let you guys know how that goes, but they have
Yeah.
really great reviews. So,
But we take such good care of Benji, and a lot of people know that who show up all the time. But I will say, when it comes to posting content about Benji, it's like I'm never affected by negative comments if it's about me, because like I know myself and I never care. But when I've posted videos with Benji in it, there's like been some negative comments, and it like hits me in a different way, because I'm like, I'm not a bad parent, but people are so where like some people were so aggressive about it, where there's like, what the hell, you're gonna like kill your dog, like this is, I'm like, I take great care of him. We didn't know like that, and he's fine. But I'm like, I'm not a bad dog parent. But there was like another one I made where they're like, how do you ever let his water go empty?
well, let's explain that. So Benji, you all know watching this, he's a very specific pup. He wants what he wants when he wants it, and that is just his personality. And so you guys know we spoil just everything for him. We do it always for him. And there was a time when we started discovering that if he didn't have water in his dish, he started scratching. Now, this was a new thing for him, because
just a year
throughout life, he wouldn't bark, he wouldn't do anything, and I'd be like, where's Benji? And I'd walk over and I'd see he's standing there. I'd go, oh, here. Like,
he would
give
just
me
stand next to it. He wouldn't bark.
I was
He
like,
wouldn't
give us
scratch
his signals.
for 12 of his years of life.
Now he's discovered that he can scratch it, and it just cracks us up because it's just adorable. So the other morning, I'm like, babe, he's coming in. He's going to scratch. Get it on video. This is going to be the cutest thing ever. And what do you know? He did it. And we gave him a big, big, big bowl of water, and he drank it. He was good. And on this TikTok, someone goes...
Someone? Hundreds and hundreds. Well, granted, it did go viral. It had like 1.4 million views. So, of course, you're going to get hundreds of people, not thousands, but hundreds, that were like, how could you ever let your dog's bowl go empty? Like, that's not...
Like,
but then,
dog deserves to always have a big bowl of
Yeah.
water. I'm like, please, you guys don't even know this dog's spoiled
but
life.
that's why they don't. That's the thing,
Yeah.
is that there was no research on their end. It was a random video that popped up. They saw a dog scratching and me saying, yes, your majesty. And they're like, well, he can't get water himself. I'm like, it's just a joke because he's impatient, because we give him water 4 times a day and he'll drink it. And if we're busy doing something, he scratches and we give him water. But he's aggressive with his scratching. Like, dude, you're going to be fine. You didn't have water for 2 hours. We didn't just come in from outside. You've been sleeping on the nice Z Gallery feather couch or in a Tempur-Pedic bed. We'll get you the water. But people don't know that context.
No.
But I usually have 99% positive, like, on everything I do. But when it involves a dog, people are like, you can't let him off a leash. He can't have an empty water dish. You're going to kill him with the onions. Like, I was like,
Wait till we
Jesus.
have a kid, sweetie.
Yeah, we've been blessed, though, that people have been kind. We have some
Everyone's
friends
been
that, like,
great.
the hate that they get is so bad. Like, I've gotten a few really nasty, ugly things, but that's the price you pay when you put yourself out there. That's why some people are probably hesitant, because you're just going to get demolished. But we have so many years of experience. We don't do anything like over the top stupid or controversial that creates hate. And there's even times that I'll make a video and I go, this response, even though it's funny, like, I'll give you an example. I almost made one questioning why people who go to a public gym use dumbbells and leave them on the floor and don't put them back. Like, how would you grab the dumbbells from a communal rack, use them, and set them on the floor and leave the gym? And I made a TikTok about it. But I go, the response is going to create negativity. People are going to say, I hate people like that. Or, who are you to tell me what to do with my weights? Or, hey, man, mind your... Like, I just was in my head going, this has the opportunity for negativity. I'm not going to post that. So most of the time, I think about that because I don't want a culture or a following of pessimistic, like, naysayer people.
Right.
So my content reflects most of the time my audience. Mm-hmm. And I've built an incredible, wonderful, positive audience. But I've also think about what I'm posting. And then something like the onions, I actually appreciated because I got a lot of constructive criticism on that. And now we know not to do that because I would have kept giving it to him.
Freddie?
You know, so I'm glad that I knew. But so yeah, the whole journey's been interesting. But I don't even know what we had planned to talk about today. But we just went on some like rants. But yeah, we want to wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. We get to hang out with family tomorrow.
Yes.
We don't have to cook because we've spent most Thanksgivings alone or at a friend's Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
We had some pretty good.
This is the first family Thanksgiving in a very long time.
In a very, very long time. So we're wishing you just a healthy and safe and awesome and happy holiday season. And we'll be back here next Wednesday. So enjoy your time. If you have the time off, enjoy it with your friends and family. And we will talk to you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And Benji says it as well. All right, everyone. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.